Donald Trump just suffered through one of his most humiliating moments on a world stage ever, and I had the sobering breakdown of it all for him, satisfying for you, coming up next. Don't miss any of our reports about Trump's out-of-control hubris and the uncontrollable humiliation that often follows. Let's begin with Trump at Davos explaining how his chairmanship came to be on the so-called Board of Peace. It's the same move he used on the Kennedy Center. He orchestrated a scheme with him in charge, then concocts a story that includes, "I'm so surprised that they put me in charge." And in this case, he glosses over the fact that our biggest allies have rejected him. But I won't gloss over it. Have a look at his low-energy moment that he makes worse with a dumb Trump-style joke. And on the other side, I'll share the super snubbing and some curated reactions.
This board has the chance to be one of the most consequential bodies ever created, and it's my enormous honor to serve as its chairman. I was very honored when they asked me to do it. We had an idea to do it, and then they came, they said, you be the chairman. And but I take it very seriously. We have a great group of people and incredible young people that are leading it from within. It's running beautifully, started already, and every country, just about every country, wants to be a part of it.
That's a lie that's easily exposed.
And we just sent out the letters a couple of days ago, and these are just the countries that are here. They happen to be in Davos, so we said we'd be honored if you wanted to join us up on the stage. And it's really great. They're friends of mine. I think, let me see. Yeah, every one of them is a friend of mine. A couple, let's see, a couple I like, a couple I don't like. No, I like, actually, this group, I like every single one of them. Can you believe it? Usually I have about 2 or 3 that I can't stand. Usually I have 2 or 3 that I don't like. I don't find them up here. I like every one of these people. No, they're great people. They're great leaders. And the Board of Peace is composed of leaders, the top leaders in the world, actually.
There's the lie again. And here's the reality, described and destroyed by alternative media.
We should probably be talking about the Board of Peace ceremony that is about to begin, which looks not unlike the bar in Star Wars. It's a collection of freaks, weirdos, war criminals, and genocidal leaders who are now joining what Donald Trump calls the Board of Peace in return for giving him $1 billion. Which Vladimir Putin intends to find from assets that have been frozen as an internationally sanctioned punishment for the illegal invasion of Ukraine.
Let's call it what it is. It is Donald Trump's UN. He wants to set up his own private Mar-a-Lago of the world. That's all it is. The proposed charter has been revealed. It says the Board of Peace would, quote, secure enduring peace in areas affected or threatened by conflict, not just Gaza. It also called for a, quote, more nimble and effective international peace-building body. And it is, of course, incredibly ironic that it's being started by the chief opponent of peace in the world. But yeah, it's not about Gaza anymore. It's a new UN. Donald J. Trump.
Many witnesses. Some of the most powerful witnesses were witnesses who, in fact, were fellow Republicans who had voted for Donald Trump, who had campaigned for him, and who wanted him to win the election. These included state officials, people who worked on his campaign, and advisors. There were witnesses who I felt would be very strong witnesses, including, for example, the Secretary of State in Georgia, who told Donald Trump the truth, told him things that he did not want to hear, and put him on notice that what he was saying was false. Our investigation revealed that Donald Trump was not looking for honest answers about whether there was fraud in the election. He was looking for ways to stay in power. We had evidence that the president had directed Rudy Giuliani, one of his co-conspirators, to contact members of Congress to try to further delay the proceedings and exploit the violence that happened in the Capitol. We had evidence that those calls had happened. We wanted to get more evidence of that to corroborate it for trial.
Hey, with us now, let's bring in Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley of California. He's a member of the House Judiciary Committee, and he questioned Jack Smith in yesterday's hearings. Congressman, thank you so much for being with us. I greatly appreciate it.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, we're going to get to Jack Smith in a second. I just want to ask you a couple other things that we've been talking about today that obviously I know you hear from your constituents. And if you don't, tell us, because That would be very instructive for us. But first of all, obviously, the Epstein files keep coming up. They've been coming up for a very long time. And it's been MAGA supporters, it's been Republican supporters who have really pushed for that for some time. Should the Justice Department do more to release the 99% of those files that have not been released? And what should Congress do to expedite that so your constituents can see them?
Well, of course, we need to get the files out as required by law. I was one of the first people to come out in support of the bill, at least on our side of the aisle. And I said all of last year, what we want is maximum transparency consistent with the rights of victims. I understand this is an incredibly complicated matter, millions of documents, incredibly sensitive, matters at issue. So I hope that this will proceed in an expeditious manner. We can get the transparency and truth that everyone wants here and the closure for the victims, and then we can move on from this.
And is there a time frame for you, like at some point, because obviously they were going to have a rolling release of it because of the very concerns you're talking about, but we're past a month and they've only released like 1% and a lot of those were redacted. Do you have a timeline in your mind, or are you hearing from constituents? Hey, what can President do on health care, on groceries, on rent, on first-time homebuyers? But what are you hearing from constituents in your district? What is top of mind for them?
Yeah, cost of living is paramount, especially in California. I represent a district in California. We have the highest cost of living in the entire country in California, highest cost of housing in the continental United States, highest gas prices, highest electricity prices, highest taxes for many people, close to the highest water bills. So this is a...
Public statements made by influential figures often resonate far beyond their immediate audience. When such remarks touch on shared history, cooperation, or collective responsibility, they can evoke strong reactions, particularly if they appear to conflict with widely held understanding or lived experience. In moments like these, the discussion quickly moves beyond opinion and into questions of accuracy, recognition, and respect. Shared frameworks of cooperation exist to provide assurance during times of crisis. These arrangements are built on mutual understanding and the expectation that support will be reciprocal when needed. Over time, they become symbols of trust, reflecting not only formal commitments, but also the willingness of people and institutions to act together in difficult circumstances. Because of this, statements that appear to overlook or dismiss past cooperation can feel unsettling to those who view these frameworks as meaningful and proven. Critics of such remarks often emphasize historical context. They point out that collective support has, in the past, translated into tangible action rather than abstract promises. These actions required preparation, coordination, and long-term engagement. For many observers, this history is not distant or theoretical. It is remembered through stories, personal experiences, and outcomes that shaped lives and communities. For families who experienced personal loss connected to these shared efforts, public commentary carries particular emotional weight. When past contributions are questioned or minimized, it can feel as though those experiences are being erased or undervalued. This reaction is not driven by disagreement alone, but by a desire for acknowledgement and respect. Words that fail to reflect this sensitivity can reopen emotional wounds and create a sense of injustice. Beyond personal impact, such remarks can influence broader confidence in cooperative systems. Trust is a central pillar of any shared arrangement. It develops slowly through consistent recognition and mutual respect, and it can be weakened quickly by statements that suggest imbalance or ingratitude. Even when no immediate policy changes follow, shifts in tone can alter perception and strain relationships. Observers also raise concerns about responsibility in communication. Individuals with prominent platforms are often expected to exercise care when addressing topics tied to collective memory. Precision matters not only because of factual accuracy, but because of the human meaning attached to those facts. Mischaracterizations, whether intentional or not, can have consequences that extend well beyond the moment they are spoken. Another dimension of the discussion involves how history is framed. History is not merely a record of events, it is also a narrative that shapes identity and trust. When narratives diverge sharply from commonly accepted understanding, they invite scrutiny and debate. This process can be constructive when it encourages clarity, but it can also deepen division if handled insensitively. The